Hi guys, my name is Nico and I am a full-time eBay reseller. So it's a little bit chaotic right now, so I might get interrupted on this video, and if I do, I'll just stop and we'll call this part one. What's going on is that we've had trouble with our heat for about 2 weeks, and we've had to order some parts, and so we haven't been able to regulate it with the thermostats. We have 3 different zones, I guess you call it, because we have a big old house out here in the middle of Wyoming. So we have the upstairs, and I guess there are 2 zones up there with thermostats, and then down here in my office there's a thermostat over on that wall, and it pretty much controls the basement. And so thankfully we've had heat when we've needed it. We just had to go manually turn that on, but all of the plumber and everything is here today, and he is working on that. And I guess you can't just replace the one valve, you got to replace all 3, so it's a pretty extensive thing that we're having done there. It's been just cold enough, and like now it's pouring rain, which in Wyoming is odd. Up in the mountains we either get snow or nothing, you know. It's pretty dry here some of the time, but it's actually raining outside, which is funny. Right now it says it's 54 degrees. I don't know if I believe that. It's overcast, rainy. I'm not sure if it's 54, but maybe it is. And it is windy. I mean, so windy I brought my dog in. I was afraid some branches might fall on him. The second thing I have going on, and thankfully I called, I've been meaning to call, is that I do have an old laptop. And so, you know, you just get used to things. During COVID, I didn't travel, and I just kind of got used to it being a little slow, and I was going to get a new one, but it wasn't a huge concern. You know, I have my virtual assistant do a lot of my listing, and so all I have to do is approve a lot of the drafts, and so I just got really lazy with it. But then now that I'm starting to travel again and go to Denver, when I do these videos in my hotel room and go to upload them, it's just like shoom, and they're uploaded. And now I know I live up in the mountains and we don't have the best of everything. I don't think we have 5G here, don't quote me. So I've known that it's going to be slower where I live, but I just noticed like this is too slow, like something's wrong. So I just called today finally. It's been on my list, wherever my list is. I'm marking stuff off my list. Let's see. Is this my list? Let's see what it is here. Oh yeah. So I still have to fix this navy jacket that I need to fix, that I guess the pictures are wrong in my listing. Someone let me know. Then I have another sleeping on snow hoodie that a lady wants to buy, but there's no measurements, and 2 weeks later I haven't gotten her the measurements. Then Union Internet I have written down on here to call Union and figure out what is wrong with my internet. So anyway, I had a great discussion with the tech, and so let me see. I don't even know if I can tell you. So I have 25 and 3. So for those of you nerds out there or internet people who know what you're doing, 25 is my download speed. And that's really good. And that's what I've noticed, is that I can stream a video, I can watch on YouTube, I can do all these things, and it very rarely buffers unless something's wrong with, you know, my Amazon thing. You know, with the plug that actually goes into the TV. You can tell how low tech I am. What is that thing called? Anyway, I don't know. But my upload is a 3. So 25 is download, 3 is upload. So I'm on the 3 plan, and I upload videos, I upload photos to my virtual assistant all the time. And like I've been talking on my last couple videos, like this little short post office shipping video that I made this morning, I think it's like 34 minutes long is all. It has taken going on 2.5 to 3 hours to upload. And so I just called to say, hey, can I go to the highest speed you have? That's just what I thought was going on. And she says, yeah, I mean, we can do that, but something else is really wrong. Like, she did all these tests. And so I guess what they're saying, at least initially, is that I'm in a fiber area, which they are just laying a lot of stuff in our town, like different internet stuff, fiber and whatever that is. They've had the streets torn up and all this. So I guess I'm in a fiber area, but I'm still using copper equipment. So she thinks that will initially help. And then if I'm lucky enough to be close enough to the hub or whatever it is, wherever they left off on their building or their restructuring, whatever it is. If I'm close enough to reach that, then I can go to a 25 download and a 5 upload, or some kind of unlimited upload speed. And then she says it'll just be like crazy if I'm close enough. So I don't know if I'm close enough to that, but just getting some new equipment, which isn't going to cost me anything, and all of that should help the problem. So that's good. See, that's what, I've been procrastinating for like a month on calling just to upgrade my service, thinking it was me. And then here, if I would have, called, who knows how much time I've wasted. But anyway, I'm really glad for that. So that is good. Okay, so those of you who have been listening to me this past week, you know that I went on a 10-day, not really meaning to, kind of period of time where I've been seeing my folks, seeing my mom, seeing my dad, taking my mom to the dentist. I had to go to the orthodontist, and these are all major out-of-town trips. These are all a minimum of 3 to 4 hours of driving, and then when I went to see my dad, that was 6 hours round trip. So I've turned every single one of these into a full-time sourcing trip because they're busy too. They have things to do during the day, so I go source during the day and then spend time with them at night. So I have all this stuff here that I've purchased, and as you know, if you've been watching me, I try to keep every receipt, and I try to give detailed analysis just for myself of how much I'm spending, how much time I was in the store, and just I'm trying to get myself to where I can pick up 10 items an hour minimum. That's my minimum. Right now, I'm at about between 4 and 6. 6 is my best. And that is when I'm going through the racks in an arc, and it's half price day, and so pretty much I can pick up any color except the one that's brand new. So when it's a Saturday, which is still chaotic, and there's a lot of other resellers in there, but when I'm in these big Denver thrift stores where they keep trucking the stuff out, I am up to about 6 an hour. But those of you who have watched my channel, you know how expensive it is for me to even leave town. It's gas, it's food, it's hotel bills, it's just wear and tear on my car. So I am really, really attempting to get 10 items per hour so that I can shop all day, which I love. I honestly love the sourcing. In a perfect world, I'm not really trying to reduce my sourcing time. I just understand, practically speaking, how much it costs me to be gone, to be away from my husband and my dog, to come home and have, a bunch of stuff and nothing listed because you've spent half your week sourcing and you just have trouble getting your listings up. So from a practical point of view, I need to reduce my sourcing time, or I need to at least find more per hour. I don't know if I'll reduce it, but I need for it to pay more for itself. So I have some receipts. Normally I would have this all mapped out for you, but the last 10 days has been just beyond crazy. Sorry guys, I might be looking over here low because I have workmen coming in and out, and the internet people could call me or come by too. That is possible. I've got my phone here. So this is not going to be mapped out like my last 2 bins trips, and I'm upset at myself because I'm trying to actually have solid numbers, but it's okay. I've got a lot of good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and just list it, and then I'll start back keeping track my next trip. So I want to get all this listed, all of this into the system, and just go from there, and then we'll start over. So I am going to go ahead and show you my receipts. That'll give you kind of an idea of my last 10 days. All my receipts from the last 10 days are in here unless I've already shown you in my previous haul video, which was yesterday, I think it was. So anyway, I like Poke. This is a place I go. So on the day I went to the dentist, I went to Fort Collins and I got a Poke bowl. It's expensive. I do add avocado. And yes, I eat it all at once. I should save it for 2 meals. But anyway, in and of itself, it's really healthy. It's a ton of carbs because I do the white rice. So it is just a ton of carbs. But on top of that, then, it has macadamia nuts. It has ahi tuna. It has avocado. Just all this amazing stuff. Kind of like a sushi roll thing. And so this is my big time splurge when I'm out of town. So that was $18. Then this is just my gas receipt from Love's. $28. You know, we didn't use that all in one trip. And this is a combination of 3 trips. One was my orthodontist appointment. I didn't stay the night that night. We just drove up, came back. One was a trip where I stayed 3 days in Denver. And then another one I stayed 2 nights in Denver, but I was with my dad, and he has a friend there, and so we stay there. When he goes to the Rockies game, he's a single guy with a really big house, and he loves the company, and we take him places and take him to lunch, and then he loves it, and then it really helps us to stay there. So out of the 5 nights I was in Denver, I only had to pay hotels for 2 or 3. I've totally honestly lost track. I don't remember. I think I paid for 2 hotel nights. So this is one Goodwill receipt. I don't know that I can match it up to which bag it is. I just don't think I can. I only bought one item, and it was $3.75. That's a Wyoming Goodwill. Wyoming Goodwills are $3.75. Then this is another gas receipt for sometime during this last 2 weeks. It's $35.09. You know, you got to look at it how you want to look at it. I would have been going to the orthodontist anyway, and I would have taken my mom to her dentist appointment anyway. Unfortunately, 2 different towns, 2 different days, but that's okay. Had a great day out with my mom, had ice cream, had lunch, stuff we shouldn't do. Just a great girls trip day out anyway, so I would have been doing that anyway, but then while she was at the dentist for 2 hours, I did get a lot of sourcing in. So I keep track because this is a legitimate business trip. I have receipts to prove that I worked really hard before, during, and after the dentist with her. Then we went to, I went to in Aurora, where I go to the bins, to this Mexican restaurant. It was $14.04, and I did leave a tip too. What is this? Oh, a car wash. Yeah, the inside of the car is still trashed. I mean, not with anything in it, no clutter, but just dirt and snow from like the last 4 months. I'm not kidding you. It's been so cold that I didn't even have the heart to ask my husband if he had time to wash it. We've washed the outside of our car 1 time in 4 months because literally it has been so freezing cold that I was afraid to like spray water into the keyholes. Like that really is a thing on a day when it's so iced over that if you put a lot of water into the cracks of your car, that it's just supposedly not a good thing. Maybe it's a myth, but I've heard that. But yeah, I mean, the inside of our car just has not been cleaned for a month. So we're going to fix that. It's starting to get warm, but ugh, I hate that. Hate it. Let's see. This is some kind of a little thrift store. I think this is the Cottage in Laramie, Wyoming. I think this is just a little church thrift, and I bought 3 things. I spent $9.54. Don't quote me on that. Another gas receipt from the last couple weeks, $22. Then here is my hotel. So I did get 2 hotel rooms at one point in the last 10 days, and that was $210.70. I went by myself, did not take my dog, tried to be really serious and focused in my sourcing, and whew. And then this is one of my Goodwill outlet receipts. I think I have one more maybe down in a bag over here. On this trip, this was on the 14th of April, and today's the 18th. So this is just this week that I got back. Excuse me. I had one book, and I can't remember what book that would be. But anyway, I had a book. Then I had linens, 1.5 pounds of linens. That was a blanket that I'm going to resell. And then I had 40.5 pounds of other clothing. And so my total that day was $75.47. Another gas receipt. And then this King Soopers grocery receipt, $21.56 of it is stuff I ate while I was up there in Denver, either to take to the bins, like popcorn, pepperoni. You know, you got to have pepperoni at the bins. So I'm there 12 and a half hours, so I do not leave. So I take soda, I take water, I take my boba tea in the morning or whatever I have for caffeine. Then, you know, I don't really stop much until like about 2, and then by then it's really hot and I'm thirsty, so I drink all this water, all this caffeine, eat a bunch of pepperoni. It's not a good thing, but anyway, that's the way I do my thing there. So I don't eat lunch. I'll just, if I'm lucky, I eat popcorn and stuff at the bins. Then this is one of my favorite restaurants. It's called Runza. One of the Runzas was for me on my way up to back from the trip, and then the other 2 I bought for my husband, so only part of that is deductible. And then Chick-fil-A. I went there and I got unsweetened tea, and definitely you must have diet frosted lemonade. That is a must. So good, so good, so good. You can have the regular frosted lemonade, and that is amazing too, but it already has cream and everything else. So I make myself do the diet frosted, and it is good. And then I had some chicken strips. That was sometime during this trip. So now I can send all these to, you know, get rid of these and put them where they go. All right, guys, so let me show you what you really came to hear. So that's kind of an idea of my spending, because I was staying with other people, and when I took my mom to the dentist, she wanted to buy lunch. So, you know, my expenses were pretty low other than gas and, I mean, my time. I have not successfully been in this office to accomplish anything for those 10 days. Now, I've been home about 3 days. This is my 3rd day home, and you can really tell. Like, that's the only thing that saves me from super stress when this happens, when I have a 10-day run like that, where I'm trying to help my parents, trying to do things, is that I know how quickly it can come back to where it's supposed to be. I do have systems, believe it or not. It's just that if I haul my consignment paperwork for the people I'm doing consignment for, if I take with me my calendar, which here it is, this is my calendar. I mean, look how thick that is. If I take with me my, this is my bank book. So on here I have, let's see, I don't want to show you my exact amount, but I have my business and my personal. So every day when I'm home, I have, you know, my business paperwork, and I have another folder that tells me what automatically comes out of my business. So let's see, what is it? Shoebox I pay for, you know, just all these little automatic withdrawals. My Dropbox is what, $10, you know. So I have all these auto things, and so I have these all mapped out, so I know exactly where I'm at each day. And then I have my personal one. But that's another book. It's a thin book, yes, but I'm hauling this book. So when I'm gone, if I'm really trying to focus on my thrifting and my my sourcing, I just can't take 2 tubs worth of stuff to run my normal life. You know, I have to take my passwords with me. I have to take my laptop. I have to take, if I'm going to actually work there, I have to take a ruler and a rug and a, you know, the rug behind me. So I've gotten to where I just try to just leave it all behind and not haul my calendar and all this heavy stuff. You know, just getting into the hotel, especially as cold as it's been and as icy as it's been, it would take me like 4 trips by myself to just take into the hotel room at night what I needed to just go to the bins with, and stuff that really I didn't need, but I didn't want to leave it out in the car because of either theft or because of just freezing cold weather. So I would take my GPS inside, and I would just haul all of this stuff inside, you know, to the hotel room. So what I've done is that just now, like, I do not take my calendar with me anymore. I should just start taking a picture of it is what I'm going to do. Like, before I leave, take a picture of it. That way I kind of have some clue where I'm at if I'm gone 3 days. But anyway, so that kind of explains why I come back to such chaos. And then on top of that, you're bringing all this clothing back home. But anyway, guys, let's get to as much of this part of the thrift haul. Then I'm going to end this video, like if I have an interruption, if the tech guy comes for the internet. Thankfully, I can use the internet. It's not completely down. It's just really slow. But anyway, we'll get as much done, and then we'll start with part 2. So this is at a consignment place near where I live. It's where I pick up my mom. She lives in this town. This is called Alex Mill, and I paid, now this is with my consignment money, so I paid $5, but it's with store credit, so it's not really me paying actual cash. It's money that I make by buying things that they like at the bins, and then I go in and I go through and I try to find things that they don't care about that are good on eBay. But this shirt actually has a really high sell-through. I've never heard of Alex Mill. But this should get me an easy 20 to 25 bucks. And anyway, so there's my tub. This I got at a little church thrift in the same town called Laramie, Wyoming. It's only open a couple times a month, and they do not have much at all. But, you know, it's a church thing, and, you know, they, you know, make enough, I guess, to make it worth it to open that 4 or 5 hours on a Saturday. But I paid $3 for this. I think this will, you know, get me 15. Nothing huge. It's pretty heavy. All right. Let's see if